Everyone says New York will drain your wallet. They're not wrong. Right now, the average Manhattan apartment costs $5,117 per month. That's not a mortgage. That's not a down payment. That's just Tuesday and statewide. The average New Yorker pays $2,700 a month just to keep a roof overhead. But here's what nobody's telling you. There are 10 towns in the state, real towns with real jobs, real food, real lives, where $2,000 a month doesn't just cover rent, it covers everything. Groceries, utilities, a life. We're talking towns where a one-bedroom apartment runs $600, where you can own a home for under $80,000. In New York, most people don't know these places exist. The ones who do, they're not exactly shouting about it. I'm going to show you all 10. Stay with me. Troy, New York. And before you say anything, yes. This city has had a rough reputation, but that reputation? It's about 10 years out of date. Troy sits 15 miles from Albany, right on the Hudson River. The downtown is packed with 19th century brick buildings, farmers markets every Saturday, a live music scene that punches way above its weight. On paper, Troy looks like Brooklyn's cheaper cousin. Here's what the numbers actually say. The average one-bedroom apartment in Troy runs about $1,600 a month. Think about that like a paycheck puzzle. You earn $3,000 a month after taxes. Rent takes $1,600. That leaves $400 for groceries, utilities, and everything else. Tight? Yes. Impossible? Not even close. Because Troy's groceries run lean, utilities stay manageable, and your commute to Albany costs almost nothing. Your Tuesday morning in Troy looks like this. You wake up in a renovated apartment, high ceilings, original hardwood floors, $1,600 a month. You grab coffee on Congress Street for $2, not $12, $2. You catch the bus to Albany in 20 minutes. Round trip, under $5. By noon, you've spent less than $10 in New York. That's not fantasy. That's Tuesday in Troy. Troy is gentrifying fast. The artists found it first. The coffee shops followed. The rent increases are next. If Troy is on your radar, the clock is already ticking. But hey, you could always just keep paying Manhattan prices for a closet with the view of someone else's fire escape. Albany, New York, the state capital, and one of the most slept-on affordable cities in the entire Northeast. Albany has something most affordable towns don't. Stability. Government jobs don't vanish overnight. University of Albany keeps the economy humming. The Hudson River keeps the scenery sharp. This city has infrastructure, culture, history, and a price tag that makes 0 cents for how much it delivers. A one-bedroom apartment in Albany averages $1,225 monthly. Picture your budget like a kitchen table. Rent is the biggest dish, $1,225. Groceries cost around $300. Utilities run about $150. Transportation, maybe $100 flat. Total, just under $2,000. And there's still money left sitting right there on that table. Albany doesn't eat your whole paycheck. It just takes a reasonable seat at the dinner table. Your Wednesday in Albany starts quietly. Coffee from a Pine Hills cafe, $3. Walk to work through streets lined with 100-year-old architecture. Lunch near the Capitol, $8. Real food, real portions. After work, you catch the Albany Tulip Festival in Washington Park. Free admission, thousands of flowers, 0 cost. By evening, you're home before 7. Spend maybe $20 all day. In a city with real jobs, real culture, and real breathing room in your wallet. Albany is growing. Remote workers are discovering it fast. The Pine Hills neighborhood already started creeping upward in rent. The window of deep affordability is open right now. It won't stay open forever, but sure. Keep splitting a Brooklyn one-bedroom with 3 roommates and a passive-aggressive note on the microwave. Syracuse, New York, Salt City, crown of central New York, and quietly, one of the best budget cities in the entire state. Syracuse has that rare combo. College town energy without college town prices. Armory Square gives you gastropubs and galleries. The Finger Lakes sit 40 minutes west. Major employers like Lockheed Martin and Welch Allyn keep paychecks coming. Syracuse looks expensive. It absolutely is not. A one-bedroom apartment in Syracuse runs between $1,200 and $1,400 monthly. Think of your budget like a backpack. You got $2,000 to carry. Rent loads in at $1,300. Groceries add $300 more. Utilities tuck in at $150. Transportation clips on for $100. Total weight, $1,850. You're still carrying $150 of breathing room every single month. In New York State, your Thursday morning in Syracuse hits different. You roll out of a clean one-bedroom off Comstock Avenue. $1,300 a month. Hardwood floors included. Breakfast at a Westcott Street diner, $6 and a free refill. Your commute? 12 minutes by bus. After work, you drive 40 minutes to Seneca Lake. Watch the sun drop behind the vineyards. Spent nothing but gas? By Friday morning, you realize something. You actually have money left over. In New York, Syracuse is on people's radar now. SUNY graduates are staying instead of leaving. Remote workers are relocating here deliberately. Rents in Armory Square are already ticking upward. The affordable window in Syracuse is real, but it's narrowing. Move with intention. Move soon. Meanwhile, the average Manhattan renter just paid $1,400 for a studio the size of a generous closet. Think about that on your 40-minute drive to wine country. Rochester, New York. This one surprises people every single time. Rochester is an innovation city dressed up in small-town prices. Kodak built this place. Xerox grew up here. The University of Rochester and RIT keep the talent pipeline full. You get a real city, real culture, world-class music venues, a food scene that keeps winning national awards, and somehow, nobody's paying for it. The average one-bedroom apartment in Rochester costs $950 per month. A studio runs $780. Imagine filling a grocery cart with everything on your list, then finding out the total is 40% less than you expected. That's Rochester's rent compared to the national average. $950 a month for a one-bedroom, at $300 for groceries, $150 for utilities, $100 for transport, total just over $1,500. You've got $450 left every month. From a $2,000 budget, in a real city with real opportunity, Friday morning in Rochester is almost unfair. You wake up in a one-bedroom near the South Wedge, $950 a month, exposed brick walls included. Coffee from a Park Avenue cafe, $350, oat milk and everything. You bike the Erie Canal Trail to work, zero commute cost. Lunch at a James Beard-nominated neighborhood spot, $10. After work, you catch a show at Eastman School of Music, student concerts, often free. By the time you hit your pillow, you spent maybe $25 on a Friday. In New York State, Rochester is waking up. Forbes noticed it. Remote workers noticed it. Now landlords are starting to notice too. The $950 one-bedroom won't last forever. Get in while the getting is genuinely good. But go ahead, keep refreshing that NYC apartment app watching prices climb while you eat sad desk lunch in a shoebox on the 14th floor. Buffalo, New York. And before the jokes start, Buffalo has had the last laugh for about 5 years running. Buffalo is the biggest city on this list, and it comes loaded. Elmwood Village gives you the walkable neighborhood feel that people pay premiums for everywhere else. Canalside gives you waterfront culture for the price of showing up. The food scene here is flat out legendary. We're not just talking wings though, yes, the wings. Buffalo delivers big city energy at a price that makes coastal cities look criminally overpriced. The average one-bedroom apartment in Buffalo runs $1,228 monthly. The city's cost of living sits 13% below the national average. Think of Buffalo's budget like a chicken wing order. In Manhattan, same plate costs $45. Tiny portion. Pretentious sauce. You're still hungry. In Buffalo, that same plate, $12. Massive. Legendary. That's exactly what happens when you compare rent markets. Same New York State address, completely different financial reality. Saturday morning in Buffalo hits like a deep breath. You wake up in an Elmwood Village apartment. $1,228 a month. $1,228 a month. Original hardwood. High ceilings. Walking distance to everything. Breakfast at a local spot, $8. Massive plate. Actual coffee. Not a thimble with foam art. You walk to Canalside. Free outdoor concert going. Sun on the water. Wallet untouched. Afternoon Buffalo Bills game energy is everywhere, even on off weeks. This city has a pulse. By Sunday night, you realize you spent $60 all weekend. In the sixth largest city in New York State, Buffalo is no longer a secret. The Wall Street Journal wrote about it. Remote workers from Brooklyn are moving here with laptops and wide eyes. Rent in the Elmwood Village crept up 8% last year alone. The value window is still open. But Buffalo is officially on the map now. Funny how the city everyone used to make jokes about is now the city everyone quietly wishes they'd moved to sooner. Cortland, New York, the Crown City. Most people drive right past it on the way to Syracuse or Binghamton. That's their loss, and your gain. Cortland pulls off something most towns can't manage. It has genuine college town energy, without the inflated college town price tag. SUNY Cortland keeps the economy active. Main Street has real restaurants, real coffee shops, real community. 3 ski areas sit within 15 miles. And the Finger Lakes Wine Trail starts practically at the city limits. Cortland looks like a lifestyle upgrade. It costs like a budget decision. 1-bedroom apartments in Cortland run between $800 and $1,000 monthly. Picture your $2,000 budget like a hiking backpack on an easy trail. Rent loads in at $900, groceries pack in at $300, utilities zip up at $150, transport clips on at $100, total carried weight $1,450. You're not just surviving that trail, you're cruising it, with $550 still in your pocket at the trailhead. Sunday morning in Cortland is criminally underrated. You roll out of a clean 1-bedroom, $900 a month. By 9 a.m., you're on a ski slope 15 minutes from your front door. Lift ticket, under $40. Back in town by noon, lunch at a Main Street spot, $9. Real food. Afternoon walks through Sugar Park cost exactly nothing. By evening, you've had a full weekend. Skiing, eating, exploring, and spent under $60. In New York State, on a budget that actually works. Cortland's downtown revitalization is not slowing down. The city hit its 125th anniversary in 2025, with new businesses opening monthly. When the coffee shops multiply, the rent increases follow. Cortland is still in the sweet spot. Catch it now. Nothing says financial freedom like skiing before noon on a Sunday without checking your bank account first. Olean, New York. I almost didn't put this one on the list, not because it doesn't deserve it, because once people know about it, it never stays this affordable for long. Olean sits in Cattaraugus County right near the Pennsylvania border. It's quiet, deliberately so. Allegheny State Park, New York's largest state park, sits 20 minutes from your front door. Hiking, fishing, camping, thousands of acres. Zero admission cost. Olean doesn't compete with the big cities. It doesn't want to. It wins by doing something different entirely. 1-bedroom apartments in Olean run between $650 and $850 monthly. Imagine buying a brand new pickup truck. In Manhattan, that truck costs $60,000. Same truck in Olean, $35,000. Different lot, different zip code, identical vehicle. That's exactly what's happening with rent in this state. Same New York address, $700 a month versus $3,400. One number makes sense. One number is a trap. Monday morning in Olean moves at a different speed entirely. You wake up in a 1-bedroom apartment, $750 a month. Drive 20 minutes to Allegheny State Park. Trail starts at the parking lot, costs you nothing. Back home by 8 a.m. Shower, coffee. Out the door for work. After work, grocery run on North Union Street. Full cart, full fridge, under $70. By Tuesday morning, your weekly spending is under $150. And your rent check is still the smallest bill you've ever written. Olean is genuinely undiscovered, but remote work culture is pushing people out of cities and into towns exactly like this one. Cattaraugus County is starting to show up on relocation radar screens. The clock on Olean's deep affordability is ticking, quietly, just like everything else here. Somewhere right now, a Manhattan renter is paying $3,400 for an apartment that doesn't have a park. You could have New York's largest state park as your backyard for $750 a month. Just letting that sit there. Hornell, New York, the Maple City. This one hits different, not because it's flashy, because it's the opposite of flashy. And that's exactly why it makes this list at number 3. Hornell is honest. It doesn't pretend to be Brooklyn. It doesn't try to be Albany. It's a tight railroad town nestled in the Canisteo Valley, 55 miles south of Rochester, with maple trees so big they canopy entire streets. The community here is real, the kind where neighbors actually know each other's names, and the price tag? Almost embarrassingly low. One-bedroom apartments in Hornell run between $600 and $850 monthly. The median home price, $79,900. Think of Hornell's housing market like a clearance rack nobody told you existed. Every other shopper walked past it. Grab the full-price rack instead. Meanwhile, the clearance tag says $79,000 for an entire house in New York State. At $750 rent, your $2,000 budget keeps $800 completely untouched every single month. $800. Sitting there, doing nothing, every month. Tuesday evening in Hornell feels like a forgotten America that somehow still exists. You leave your apartment, $750 a month, and walk 3 blocks to dinner. Local Italian spot on Broadway. Pasta, bread, glass of wine, $22. Walk home under maple canopies so thick they block out the streetlights. Your neighbor waves from the porch, knows your dog's name, knows your work schedule. Back inside by 8 p.m., bills paid, fridge full, savings account actually growing. This isn't nostalgia, this is Tuesday in New York State for under $2,000 a month. Hornell's downtown revitalization initiative is already underway. New public art, new businesses, new attention from people who would never have looked twice before. The $79,000 median home price will not survive that spotlight for long. The Maple City is waking up. Get there before the rest of the internet does. Somewhere right now, someone is paying $5,000 a month in Manhattan for an apartment with no maple trees, no neighbors who know their name, and no savings account to speak of. Think about that on your walk home tonight. Jamestown, New York. Lucille Ball was born here. And honestly, that's the least interesting thing about this town's comeback story. Jamestown sits in southern Chautauqua County, tucked between Lake Erie to the northwest and the Allegheny National Forest to the south. It has a national comedy center that draws visitors year-round. Chautauqua Lake gives you fishing, boating, and waterfront sunsets for the cost of showing up. The downtown has real momentum, real restaurants, real culture, and rent prices that genuinely stop people mid-scroll. The average rent in Jamestown is $604 per month. That is 61% below the national average. Picture your finances like a garden hose in August. Every other New York City cranks that valve wide open. Money spraying everywhere, gone before you catch it. Jamestown barely cracks the handle. $604 for rent, $300 for groceries, $150 for utilities, $100 for transport. Total monthly spend, just over $1,150. That's not a typo. On a $2,000 budget, you're keeping nearly $900 every single month. Saturday morning in Jamestown is almost aggressively peaceful. You wake up in a one-bedroom apartment, $600 a month. Drive 5 minutes to Chautauqua Lake. Kayak on glassy water until 9 a.m. Cost you nothing but the paddle. Back in town for breakfast on Pearl Street, $7. Real eggs, real coffee, real conversation with the person next to you. Afternoon, National Comedy Center. Evening, bonfire at the lake. By Sunday night, you spent under $40 on the whole weekend, and your savings account just got another $800 deposit. In New York State, Jamestown is in active revival mode. New businesses on Pearl Street. Tourism from the Comedy Center growing. Remote workers quietly relocating. The $600 average rent is already ticking upward, 11% over the last year alone. The gap between what Jamestown costs now and what it will cost in 3 years is closing fast. You just heard about a New York town where rent averages $600, and it's not even number one. Stay right there. Niagara Falls, New York. Let me tell you what number one means. Not the tourist traps, not the overpriced hotel corridors, the actual town, where actual people actually live their actual lives, with the most famous waterfall on earth rumbling in the background. Every single day. Niagara Falls, New York holds the number one spot on the cheapest cost of living list in the entire state of New York. Not just cheapest rent, cheapest everything. Cost of living index, 79. The national average is 100. That 21-point gap is the difference between drowning financially and actually building something real. The median rent in Niagara Falls, New York is $784. The median home price is $104,000. Here's what that means in real life. Picture two people. Same job, same salary, both paying rent in New York State. Person A lives in Manhattan. $3,400 a month, gone before the 15th. No savings, no breathing room, just survival. Person B lives in Niagara Falls, $784 a month. Groceries, $280. Utilities, $150. Transport, $100. Total monthly spend, $1,314. On a $2,000 budget, Person B banks $686 every month, $8,000 a year in savings, while living in New York State with a waterfall outside. Same state, completely different financial life. Wednesday morning in Niagara Falls, NY is something no amount of money can manufacture anywhere else. You wake up in a clean 2-bedroom house. You own it. You paid $98,000 for it. Walk 3 blocks. The falls are there. They were there yesterday. They'll be there tomorrow. Mist on your face. Sound like nothing else on earth. Free every morning. Back home, coffee. Out the door for work. After work, Goat Island. Free Sisters Islands Trail. 1-hour walk. $0 spent. Dinner at a local spot, $11. By bedtime, your daily spend was under $20, and you own your home. In New York, for under $100,000, Niagara Falls, NY is already changing. The casino draws tourism year-round. Cross-border traffic from Canada keeps the economy stable. New development projects broke ground in 2024. The $104,000 median home price is the last gasp of a window that is genuinely closing. People are finding this place right now. While you're watching this video, the Falls don't care what the real estate market does. They've been roaring for 12,000 years. The question isn't whether Niagara Falls is worth it. The question is whether you move before the price makes that question irrelevant. 10 towns, 1 state, and a price tag that proves the lie was never New York itself. The lie was that New York only meant 1 zip code. It doesn't. It never did. If this video shifted something for you, hit subscribe. Because next week we're going deeper into the 10 New York towns where your dollar stretches even further if you're willing to buy instead of rent. You don't want to miss that one. New York isn't expensive. The part of New York everyone told you to want, that's expensive. The rest of it is waiting.